Hey everyone, I'm Eric Peckham, and this is the Monetizing Media podcast. My focus is breaking down business opportunities across media, entertainment, and gaming. And today I'm discussing Roblox with my friend Joe Ferencz. Joe is the founder and CEO of Gamefam, the first professionally run publisher on Roblox. They currently have 8 games live that receive over 50 million visitors per month. Joe, welcome.
9 games. 9 games.
Nine
As of
games.
as of
I feel like
today.
I feel like every time I talk to you, there
It's
are
wild.
more
It's
games.
wild. Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for the introduction. Thank you for having me. But yeah, well, creators are coming to us every day, every week, and saying, "Hey, I have a game that I know is a great game, but I'm not sure how to make it successful. Is this something GameFam can get involved with? Can GameFam invest? Can GameFam bring this into their portfolio and work the KPI raising tactics that we've become kind of well known for within the Roblox community now?"
Yeah, well, I'm excited to dive more into that. I mean, we're talking on a pretty exciting day in Roblox history, the public listing of Roblox, which I think closed the day around a $45 billion market cap, which is incredible. I mean, this is a platform that, at least looking at the end of 2020 numbers from their S1 filing, had 33 million daily active users. About 1.5% of those are on average are paying users that day, and close to $1 billion in revenue, albeit still with a pretty hefty loss, but that could certainly change soon. Um,
I mean,
I'd love, huh?
Amazon's never made money, so
There we go. Um, so I'd love to, I guess, start just with some context as far as what GameFam's strategy is here. There are millions of creators on the Roblox platform. I think the stats from Roblox officially are that there are, let's see, 4,300 of those who make at least $1,000 a year, about 1,200 making $10,000 a year or more, and 300 in the 100K and above range.
yeah.
Um, I,
Mhm.
I'd love to understand how you think about the landscape of top creators and the people behind the top games, and where GameFam sits within that.
Yeah, I mean, it just, just step back for a second. It's been an incredible rise of Roblox. I mean, I started following the platform in 2016 while doing consulting work on the Hot Wheels brand and trying to understand the kids' digital entertainment landscape and starting and what is this thing Roblox, and started tracking it. At that time, it had a few tens of millions of monthly active users. Now it has 160 million monthly active users. At that time, it was making under $1 million a month in the mobile space. Now it's making sometimes up to $100 million a month almost in the mobile space. And so it's been a pretty wild kind of 5-year ride that I've been on the platform playing the games and tracking it and being part of the community. And what we've seen is that basically Roblox started with very simplistic games for the most part, created by amateur developers who had no intention of even necessarily monetizing their work. They were creating for the pure passion of it. And that aspect of the developer community still very much exists. And so kids will start playing Roblox when they're 6, 7, 8. By 10, 11, they might decide they want to start making their first Roblox experience. We have developers here at GameFam who work for us full time, who started making their first games at 10, 11 years old. And by 15, actually had games that had tens of thousands of daily visits and communities building up around these games, like our game Ultimate Driving, for example, that Alex started developing that game when he was 15 years old. Now he's out of college and he works with us full time, and it's fantastic. But that game's been around for years now. And so what's interesting is that there is this generation of developers who started developing in middle school or high school, who are now coming into their college and post-college years, who have grown up with this crazy growth curve of the platform. And a lot of those developers have incredible creative insight into what will make a hit Roblox game, and don't really have access to a lot of the best practices in monetization and community management and retention increase that we have in the free-to-play mobile business, let alone kind of the deeper game design opportunities that drive a lot of those high-value creation experiences within free-to-play games. And so that's where Gamefam is really coming into the picture, is that we have spent years now on this platform. We've been officially on the platform for over 2 years, and I've been on the platform as a player and an observer for years before that. And we have now built a track record of finding incredible young developers and who have something special, but they don't know how to commercialize it. And we are here essentially to help them commercialize it. And that's what's been a really exciting creative collaboration with this new generation of development talent.
Yeah, and working with brands too. I know you're the force behind Mattel's Hot Wheels game on the platform, and I imagine have other brands you're building games with.
Yes, so we are a kind of a natural fit for brand partners, and as you could imagine, with all the excitement around the IPO, we are fielding calls from brands, from investors, from superstar YouTubers who want to make their own games. Literally every day I have 1 or 2 calls in that vein now. The Mattel partnership was our first partnership. I actually was ending my long-term consultancy leading up game production for Hot Wheels when Roblox was on its ascendancy, and I pitched the company on needing to be on Roblox and saw this coming from a long ways away, and they agreed. And so when I started Gamefam, knowing the brand so well and knowing the amazing people there so well, it was a really natural fit to make this game with Mattel. And it's really an important game. It's still in beta, but it has an 88% user rating. If you go on the wall, it's got comments: this game is amazing, this game is incredible, I can't believe this is real, you've made my childhood come to life. It's from a 10-year-old, by the way. 10-year-old saying, you made my childhood come to life. And what's important for us is that we've seen many other brands try to bring projects onto the platform and really struggle to even get any traction with users. We're in an organic beta with tens of thousands of daily visits to the game and very strong retention and session length KPIs. And we're doing a little more work before we start to scale the game, especially to make sure that the monetization potential is as strong as possible. But the point is that we've developed this game to be as authentic as possible from the outset. We actually worked with some of the most well-known and original creators of driving games on the platform at Summit Studios. We then brought in a series of Robloxian, what we call them native Robloxian producers, designers, map makers to build this game out. And that, we believe, is absolutely critical at this stage of the platform, is that these developers who have grown up playing these games and evolving their taste with the changing trends of the platform, without that talent supporting you, you are going to really struggle to make something that this community understands and accepts as being authentic and creatively exciting to the player base.
Yeah, I wanted to talk more about that, the comparison of building on Roblox versus building, a mobile game, free-to-play PC game. Compared to the rest of game development, what are some of the fundamental distinctions on Roblox?
Yeah, so it can be hard to put really words to it. I mean, let's just start with talking about the idea of Robloxiness. And Robloxiness is a interactive engagement and entertainment vernacular that you learn to speak as you spend time on the platform. We often liken it to moving to a foreign country as an American, because a lot of our core leadership team was born in the United States. We said, well, you can move to France, you can learn to speak perfect French, you can marry a French partner, you can get a job at a French firm, and you're French. You'll be French. You can be a French citizen, but you're never going to be French the way that someone who was born in Paris is French. And so there are certain things that make a game Robloxy that the native Robloxians just intuitively and tacitly understand. And a lot of that is in terms of the monetization as well. There are certain conventions on the platform that, done properly, have a very high likelihood of monetizing and of creating the chance for profitable game development on the platform. But we had to spend 2 years moving down an incredibly steep and long learning curve to figure out what those were. We came in from mobile free to play and we thought we would just tear it up here. We thought, oh, we're going to bring better graphics, better game loops, higher retention, higher lifetime user value. And we just took a lot of lumps in our first year on the platform. And even into the middle of our second year, we're really starting to hit our stride now, as I said, with now 9 games live operating. We have a playbook of proven monetization tactics that we have been able to see. They work in one game, we interpret them properly into another game, and we're able to then continue to lift monetization per player every month across most of our portfolio.
Fascinating. And I'm curious, even just from a user acquisition standpoint, trying to get players to your game on Roblox, what does that look like, right? I mean, you can't run some of the campaigns that you can if your game is an app in the App Store and you have the whole world of everything from Facebook ads to ads in other games.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, not only are the economics of Roblox right now are so unique that running off-platform UA, as we refer to it, wouldn't even necessarily make economic sense when you're competing against mobile free-to-play games, which have a very different economic profile, very different profitability model than Roblox games. What I can say is that we believe very strongly that there will be off-platform advertising in the near future, and we have a couple games that we are looking at, like our game Polybattle, which is an incredibly good free-to-play shooter in kind of a capture the flag style experience. And we believe this game has all ages. We know this game has all ages potential. We know a significant portion of the audience is teenagers and up. And we are like, how do we get this message out? But you can't use traditional methods right now, even if you wanted to, because there's the friction of, well, not the friction, but there's the reality of, is everyone seeing your ad actually a registered Roblox user? Not to mention the ongoing optimization of deep linking from the mobile space into the Roblox universe and getting someone directly from an out-of-platform link into your game. But I'm sure over the next 6-12 months that a lot of that is going to get optimized, and it's going to open up a huge floodgates of marketing opportunities for our games, especially since so many of our games are all ages games that would, we believe, have appeal to what people refer to as hardcore gamers.
Yeah. As a developer with now 9 games live, is there any benefit that accrues to you in the sense of being able to cross promote your games?
There is a massive data and tactical benefit to this portfolio, and there's a humongous recruiting benefit to it as well. Because what's so important to us is making sure that everyone knows this is the home for the top creators on Roblox, that they need to be here at GameFam, getting the creative freedom and the suite of publishing support and proven value creation tactics that we bring to the table. And so that's where the portfolio really delivers for us right now, is just continuing to build our reputation as the most friendly, fun, transparent, and value-focused team on this platform. And at the same time, the data from 9 games is amazing. We can try different things, and then when they work, we bring them across the whole portfolio quickly. We also have a humongous library of assets that we can allow our producers to use to stage environments and quickly prototype things. So I think the portfolio side of it is already an incredible value add to the company. But as we grow and we start to build out the proprietary cross promo network that we do have planned, that value is going to increase, exponentially.
Yeah. Tell me more about the data that Roblox provides you in order to drive some of your development decisions. I mean, do you see the kind of ages of who's playing your game, the geographic breakdown, the other games that your players tend to play by comparison?
Yeah, there's a number of different data services that Roblox provides to developers, and they each have different uses. Where we believe we are really shining and ahead of the curve is in utilization of a combination of Roblox native analytics, PlayFab and game analytics to create a series of hybrid automated dashboards that allow us much deeper insight into our games than we've seen any other developer have. It allows us to target specific KPIs, track our progress on those KPIs on a day-to-day basis, on a UA campaign ROAS basis, and really just turn the knob on driving growth across our platform. And Roblox's APIs for game analytics and PlayFab are absolutely crucial to that. And Roblox also provides some benchmark data on a cohort basis that is available to any developer that is helpful for making sure that we are always pushing to achieve the highest caliber of success on the platform.
Yeah, whether it's quantitatively from some of the data you're provided or just anecdotally, are there clear clusters by age or perhaps even geography in terms of the most popular game genres on the platform?
I think what we know from Roblox now is that from their S1, right, is about 33% of players are in the US or North America, 33% are in Europe, and 33% are spread across the rest of the world. And we can also see by time of day the way different languages are being spoken in the chat, who is probably playing the game geographically. We don't have a huge amount of individual cohort insight into the geographies or the age breakdowns of our players right now. Roblox does provide a little bit of that age breakdown via their developer stats, but we would love to have a more granular and real-time picture of it. We're not sure if people are playing on their older brother's accounts, people playing on their parents' accounts that they set up for them, which is all great and all part of the data noise that you have on any platform. But we really have an intuitive sense of how old our gamers are. And then we also have 100,000 plus Twitter and Discord users across our portfolio. And we're able to run surveys and understand more about them and extrapolate that out to the community as a whole in terms of their age and their geography. But right now, this is a lot of this is gaming intuition. What does this community need? What does our social listing report say? And how can we better serve these gaming communities and create more value for them to then provide value back to us as a company?
Yeah, gotcha. Well, I'd love to dig in more to Roblox's economy, right? I mean, here's a platform that has by and large been, it had a user base that's dominantly children of various ages, where I think the perspective, the critical perspective from a lot of people early on was great, but you can't monetize kids, right? Obviously, that has not been the case.
They were wrong, weren't they?
But I'd love to better understand. I mean, I think one of the things that's so fascinating about Roblox and why so many people are talking about it right now is obviously it's not just one game or a major game publisher. It's a platform with millions of games that have been created, where the majority of Americans under 16 are active users. And it's not just about playing games. It's where they hang out, they socialize. It's truly a virtual realm. And so thinking about
the metaverse, some people say this is the metaverse. It's here. It's Roblox. A lot of people are saying that in the press. A lot of developers on the platform are saying that this is the metaverse. What are you talking about? This is Ready Player One. This is the here.
Yeah, I mean, so the currency on Roblox that players will spend money to buy is Robux, right? And I would love to dig in more on just understanding from a creator perspective, what are all the different ways you're able to monetize a game right now, right? Obviously, there's kind of goods within the game that a player can buy with Robux. Are there kind of expansion packs or ways to level up that you're able to enable, able to add in? To what extent are you already seeing advertising coming into the game?
Well, we have two main sources of revenue right now. One is IAPs, in-app purchases, and those come across a similar spectrum that you might imagine for mobile free-to-play in terms of buying progression, buying status, buying social, buying gear that makes you look cool to your peers in the digital world, all of those things exist, although, as I said, they exist in a very different way on Roblox than they do in mobile free to play. It's far from a one-to-one, but the overall principles of what players want are fairly similar. And then the other source of revenue is premium payouts. So Roblox incentivizes developers to make the best possible experiences by giving developers a payout for the engagement that their games generate, especially among Roblox's premium subscribers. And that is an additional source of revenue on a monthly basis. And then there's also the UGC catalog program, where a select number of developers are able to monetize 3D items in the avatar catalog that can be used across any game that takes your standard Roblox avatar as the player character in the game. And those are really the three sources of revenue right now. We are starting to get inquiries from brands that say, well, look, you've got 2-3 million plus daily visits to your network. You've got family-friendly games that have great graphics, that are highly rated experiences with great engagement per user, 10, 15 plus minutes per visit to our games. What can we do in terms of buying a brand sponsorship and having a brand presence in one of your existing games? And those are conversations that we're just starting to have, and we feel very excited about the potential to create value for our brand partners and help our company grow through those type of deals potentially.
Yeah. What's your relationship with Roblox at the platform level when it comes to monetization and their product roadmap? Have they set clear guidelines around monetization strategies they encourage and those they discourage and prohibit? Or is it a bit open-ended where anything that you can come up with as a new model, you're allowed to do on the platform?
I would say yes and yes, in that Roblox, first and foremost, is concerned about COPPA compliance and having the absolute safest environment for under 13-year-old gamers possible. And so everything always starts from that foundation. And there are a number of rules in place to prevent certain exploitative or otherwise dodgy monetization practices on the platform. And then once you get past that, I think Roblox is just an exemplary partner in terms of, it's an entrepreneur-led company, now a billionaire entrepreneur as of today. And congratulations to Dave and to the whole team at Roblox for an incredible IPO day and just such a great journey. But I think that they understand that this is an entrepreneurial platform where people are coming at all ages to say, hey, I want to start a business here on Roblox. I want to start a digital engagement business. I want to start a digital entertainment business on this platform. They are so focused on being a platform and not being a developer or a content creator. And that is what allows developers like Gamefam and so many other developers we work with and that are in our peer group here as some of the top earning developers to invest so wholly into developing on this platform, is that kind of can-do spirit. So Roblox in conversations has always just been very encouraging of trying new ways for us to grow our business on the platform.
Yeah. Are you able to talk about any of the monetization tactics you've found most effective on the platform? I know we talked a little bit about comparisons to free to play, right? And obviously, in a lot of free-to-play mobile games, the dynamic is around optimizing for whales, someone who will spend enormous amounts of money at a time on a game. And to some extent, all the other players don't matter. You're just building a pipeline to keep pulling those specific users down.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I really think if you're going to come onto Roblox as a mobile free-to-play developer looking to bring your mobile free-to-play playbook, the first thing is don't step back. You've got to deprogram 10 years of orthodoxies around this idea of onboarding a player into a deeper and deeper and deeper core loop, and then finding your highest spending players and getting more and more value out of them by providing them more and more value is the way I like to think about it. Some people think about it a little bit more cynically, but regardless, Roblox is nothing like that at all. This is much more of a players paying to have more fun. It's a more impulsive form of monetization. It's a more democratic source of monetization, and very few games are able to build that type of super small percentage of super high LTV player loop that has driven mobile free to play for so long. So basically, we just look at what are the most fun parts of the game, and we try to serve up more of those in a premium way, and that is how we generally monetize our games. And our games, we have a couple games that have very high revenue per player relative to the platform. We have a couple games that have come into our portfolio that have had, like Shootout, for example. It's a free-to-play cartoony shooter. We quadrupled monetization per player in that game by understanding what it was that players would want and then selling it to them in the most fun, exciting, delightful possible way, because that is what a younger player wants. They want to be excited to buy something. If you look at a mobile free-to-play player, and I don't mean to belabor the point here, but so many mobile free-to-play players brag about never spending money in their games. I've never heard a Robloxian brag about avoiding spending Robux. They're not even their money for most of them. For most of them, it's their parents' money. And for most of them, as we say, this is a metaverse. And in the metaverse, you're going to shop for things that you want and that you like and that bring you joy. Where if you're like me and you play Summoner's War and you're like, okay, all right, I can either grind out 50 more hours or I can plunk down $50. And that's just a decision I need to make. And I'm making a trade-off of my time versus how much I want to spend. Roblox is nothing like that in most cases, I would say.
Yeah, I'm curious.
And Summoner's War is a fantastic game. I just want to say, our friends at Come2Us, fantastic game. I love it. I'm just saying, I sometimes am like, should I grind or should I spend? Robloxians don't think that way. That's not the heuristic by which players are deciding whether or not to convert.
Yeah. Are you seeing any difference there, having a portfolio of games that are somewhat targeted to different age demographics in terms of average revenue per user on those? Is there any distinction that's consistent? Like, a younger child is spending more money because their parent is there with them versus a 14-year-old. It's a bit of like, get a job and spend your own money. And so they actually are spending less in those games.
I mean, given that we're working with developers who were teaching themselves how to monetize and coming to us with great games with very nascent monetization systems, we just have so much upside left in each of these games that I can't yet say where a younger versus an older demographic matters. We just have so many tactics across games. We have probably one or two surefire tactics in every game that we're now cross-pollinating across the portfolio. So I'd say ask me again in 6 months when we feel like we may have even come close to maximizing the lifetime user value within these games. And then I'll know more about whether specific genres or specific demographics have different willingnesses to pay on the platform.
Yeah. What are your predictions? And if we kind of forecast 5 years from now, right, March 2026,
yeah,
what does the Roblox economy look like at that point in comparison today, right? I mean, obviously there's just sheer size, but thinking about users aging up, the product roadmap in terms of new features that Roblox is promising to developers, what does that world look like in your eyes?
Well, I mean, the first thing is that GameFam's game Polybattle will probably be the #1 shooter in the world by 2026. So that's
We
probably
hope so.
to take note of, and that our game Ultimate Driving, drive anywhere, do anything is the call to action there, will probably be maybe the #2 game in the world, or maybe it'll be #1. I don't know. But I think that the point is that Roblox will be what Dave has envisioned it as for years. Dave's ambition, from what he says at Roblox Developer Conference, is boundless. He truly wants to create an all engaging social and entertainment platform. And he's the only CEO out there, in my opinion, and this is the only company with the real potential to own that space. Disney's not going to do it. Netflix isn't going to do it. It has to come from a place of gaming as the foundation, because this generation their foundation is gaming, and gaming is going to continue, as we say, to eat the world. There's no doubt about it, is that once you become a gamer, all other forms of entertainment start to really feel a little lackluster. Of course, there's always going to be a place for great TV shows. There's always going to be a place for great books and for comic books and for podcasts, and all of these things will continue to thrive. But interactive entertainment is going to be the single biggest form of entertainment in the future. And Roblox is in just the perfect position to own that space and really, in some ways, I guess, be the Amazon of the entertainment business, providing every experience you could look for under one roof eventually is where Roblox's potential.
Yeah. Roblox right now, it's still a mostly closed economy in the sense of, I think the cutoff on the creator side to be able to convert the Robux you earn into real world currency is 100,000 Robux, so $1,000 of earnings, which is only for the few thousand top creators.
Yeah.
Do you see, either in terms of where you think the platform is going the next few years, or just what you think would take it to the next level, do you think there's a point at which players should be allowed to exchange Robux back into real world currency, right? Like if this is heading in the direction of being more of the metaverse, and players and creators are increasingly the same, you provide value on the platform, you trade something with someone else, and that can become real world money.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know Dave Baszucki very well personally. I've met him a number of times, and he's a great guy. I feel like he would love that idea. I just feel like that would be a dream come true for Roblox to become an actual IRL currency or a blockchain currency or something like that. But that is some real future casting, Eric. Like good on you. Good on you. That's not even on my mind. I think what is on my mind, though, is NFT collectibles on Roblox, and those being available for resale somewhere off the platform for some kind of currency, or being able to cash out your Robux for USD based on the transactions of NFT collectibles. I definitely think there's something very interesting there. And we're at day one of the NFT business becoming a consumer mass market. And Roblox very likely is going to have a big role to play in that over the coming years.
Yeah, give us an example of what you think that might look like on Roblox, right? Because you as a creator, say within one of your games, have the capacity to create scarcity, to have there be only a couple of an item and players trade it, etc. And perhaps Roblox would create a system across games that allows that. But thinking about an item moving off platform, right, existing beyond that.
Yeah, well, I think we have to think ahead to a world where art and collectibles. If you look behind me, I've got art on my wall. If I turn the camera, you'd see toys on a shelf there, toys on a shelf there. We have to think ahead to a world where there's a hybrid of digital screens displaying what you own in the digital world and physical shelves displaying what you own in the physical world. And so in that world, it's like people who collect sneakers. Okay, I live off of Fairfax Avenue in Los Angeles, right? I drive by the Supreme store all the time. And there's that line down the street of people who want the new release of the Supreme gear. Why? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, but I'm pretty sure it's because it's scarce and it's fashion and people want it and they want to show it off. And so if you look ahead to a world where you've got something that's fashionable and trendy. So for example, the skins that we have in Shootout, we ship new skins into Shootout every single week. And those skins are only for sale for a limited amount of time. And then they can be traded between players. And the trading is very valuable, but there's no way to validate the scarcity or rarity of those skins. But once you can, we can do what we do, which is create demand, create desire, and create the joy of the chase, the joy of fashion. And players will have those in their inventory. They'll be able to show them off in the metaverse, and people will know socially that these have rarity and value to them. And then they'll be able to display them in their digital display cases in their homes as well. And then they'll be able to trade them back and forth and sell them on eBay. And in a world where half of your social life is physical and half of your social life is digital, your digital fashion items, your digital sneakers are going to be equally sought after and valuable. When people go and buy the collector Nikes on Fairfax Avenue and they wait in line all night to get that shoe drop, what do they do with them? They take a picture of them, they put them on Instagram, they put them in their closet, and maybe once in a while they wear them inside to impress their friends. I don't see digital collectibles being any different. The only difference right now is you can validate that there's only 200 pairs of those of the Yeezys created, or 2,000 pairs of the Yeezys in an edition, right? But you can't validate that off the blockchain for digital collectibles.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fascinating to think about, the power of those sort of, like, to have a drop, right, or like a limited edition, time bound item on Roblox. Like thinking about, we've started to see some big musicians have concerts on
Yeah.
Roblox, right? Of
Yes.
like,
Absolutely.
if there are a specific number of collector's items for participants in that concert,
Yep.
that are all there ever will be, right?
My avatar wears the Little Nas X rhinestone cowboy hat. I've been wearing it since
There
the
we
Little
go.
Nas X concert. So it was a free item I got by going to the concert, and I thought it sat very well on my hybrid Cyclops Flamingo avatar, and I've been using it ever since. I get a lot of compliments on it, actually.
I'm curious, on that note, I think one of the big question marks that a lot of people, in terms of kind of business leaders, investors, have with Roblox is around the idea of aging up the audience, right? So people, when they get into their early mid-teens, just leave and they go to other games.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I know you're of the perspective, this is kind of the centerpiece for a new generation, and it is aging up with them. I'm curious, are things like these concerts, kind of non-gaming social experiences that are increasingly popping up on the platform, part of attracting somewhat older people back to the platform, or to it for the first time? Or do you see this really as, there aren't necessarily older people coming to the platform for the first time en masse? It's really just this cohort continuing to be entertained in new ways as they get older.
I mean, look, when Little Nas X is debuting his new song on the platform, that has got to be bringing new people onto the platform, both younger and older. When you have a huge pop star like that debuting their work on the platform, when you have Wonder Woman debuting their trailer for WW84 on the platform, that is going to bring in people who want to check it out. Look, it's free. It's free to make a Roblox account. It's free to play almost every experience on the platform. So, what is holding back a mass influx of older gamers? Well, that's just waiting for the killer app. And we think that that could be Polybattle, that could be Ultimate Driving, that could be a number of games that we have in development with top global brands that already have that mass market pop culture appeal. And that could happen any day. There could be that Angry Birds of Roblox that makes Roblox go completely four quadrant. At the same time, this cohort that is playing Roblox right now at 10, at 12, at 14 is absolutely going to age up with Roblox because the game content is getting more and more sophisticated every month, and Roblox is supporting that through their technological development. And we know, as I said, we have 100,000 social media followers across Discord and Twitter. Those are all 10, 11, 12, and up through college age kids. We know we have a ton of college age players in our games, and we know a number of the other games on the platform are mostly high school and college focused as well. So it's already aging up. It's just not, it just doesn't have that big tent killer app quite yet. And we're hoping that we are going to be the company that creates it.
Yeah. Are there
We're
specific
planning to be the company that creates it. To be fair. Yeah.
are there specific, from a product standpoint, specific needs you have in order to build what you think is the killer app? I know, Roblox is promising its product roadmap, much higher end graphics, a number of other things. Do you view those as critical pieces, or at the end of the day, is it less about, um, the visuals, or some of those, product improvements, and it's more about some other game design, just creative decision?
I I think visuals are generally important, like one of my favorite YouTubers, Donkey, says found graphics the foundation of gaming. I think that if you look at Minecraft, and Minecraft being an all ages game, although with a very heavy kid component in that way, not very different than Roblox, but maybe kind of more known for having a broader audience range, whether rightly or wrongly. Minecraft is not about graphics at all. And Roblox has historically not been about graphics. And you can look at games like Superhot that just own that low poly look and are hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue in the hardcore AAA, whatever you want to call it, gaming space. Or you can look at Nintendo and how Nintendo, the graphics have improved, but Mario 3D from the Wii to the Switch, it's not that different in a lot of ways. So I just think, I guess the answer is both. There can be a big tent super hit that is based in more of a low poly look and feel that is not an inhibitor to a super hit. But in the long run, you do need those increasingly photorealistic graphics to have the biggest possible reach into the gaming community. We can have a huge hit with Polybattle as a low poly shooter, but we are still going to be disadvantaged against a game like Call of Duty that has photorealistic graphics and the same quality of latency and performance for hardcore competitors. So, but the good news is the idea of something like Roblox, even the graphics that are possible on Roblox today and the lighting that's possible on Roblox today would have been unthinkable 10 years ago. And the graphics that we take for granted on our mobile phones now when we play mobile games would have been completely impossible in 2010 to do the things we do, playing Fortnite in real time on our mobile phones. It's wild. So in 5 years, will Roblox have AAA photorealistic graphics? I mean, certainly they'll be getting closer to it if they're not all the way there.
Yeah, I'm curious, do you think in terms of this metaverse vision, and Roblox is a place to hang out, is one of the technical needs, or at least improvements that would advance it a lot farther there, basically expanding dramatically how many players can be on a single shard of the game at once? Or is that not really a restriction to a high quality experience, right? Like if you can have 10,000 people attending a Lil Nas X concert actually in the same shard bumping into each other?
It's a very interesting question. I mean, the short answer is, I think it's pretty clear that the attractiveness of these type of concert events, whether they're in Fortnite or Roblox or wherever they're going to show up next, doesn't seem to be held back much by 100-player server limit. 100 players in a small digital space, all jumping up and down, feels pretty full and pretty fulfilling, I think, to most gamers. In the long run, are there things that you can do by having 500 players in a server, 1,000 players in a server, 10,000 players in a server? Yeah, there are new ways of gaming and new types of entertainment experiences that we have not even conceived of yet. And Roblox has been very adamant about trying to make servers bigger and bigger. This is a platform that is rooted in social play at its very essence, and everything about it drives to and from social. So they are always working to make 100-player servers run as smooth as possible, and then to continue to push up to 200 players. And from there, it's going to continue to go up. I mean, this isn't that different than so many other aspects of the technology business. We're going to see more and more players with better and better performance over the years, I'm sure. We just don't know what that's going to even look like. But it hasn't been an inhibitor. My point is this. You have 33 million people or whatever showing up to see a Lil Nas X concert over a weekend in Roblox. I think you're doing okay. The
tools are there.
You're doing all right. Yeah, that's more people than can attend a concert in real life, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's more people than are at Coachella, ever.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Joe, thank you so much. I'm excited to see GameFam launch more games and grow its existing ones to a whole nother level.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me on the podcast. Always a pleasure to chat with you, and looking forward to connecting again soon.
Same here. Thanks to everyone for listening to the Monetizing Media podcast. You can join the Monetizing Media newsletter and find other resources like a database to focus a database of investors who focus on media and entertainment startups at monetizingmedia.com.